welcome to a new edition of our show, The Daily Debate, in which we probe different issues every time. And today, tonight, we'll be talking about Sheikh, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Al-Azhar Ahmed Al-Tayyib's visit to Europe, to the Vatican, Italy, and to France. And also in March, he visited Germany. The Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Tayyib Ahmed Al-Tayyib, said on Tuesday that Al-Azhar would support French President François Hollande in correcting the perception of Islam after recent terrorist attacks in France and Belgium. Tayyib, who met with the French president on Tuesday, added that he agreed with President Hollande on an official exchange between Islamic institutions in France and Al-Azhar in order to educate a new generation of Islamic scholars and leaders about the religion in a true and objective way. In the meeting of the French president, Tayyib explained how Al-Azhar supported international peace in communities worldwide, giving special attention to France. The Grand Imam then denounced recent terrorist attacks that took place in France and Belgium. The French president welcomed Tayyib's visit to France in a Tuesday statement by the Élysée Palace. According to the statement, Hollande and Tayyib discussed French priorities in fighting radicalism, as well as the situation in the country following the Paris attacks. President Hollande praised the efforts of Islamic leaders in fighting radicalism. Tayyib's meetings with President Hollande was also attended by French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault and Minister of Interior Bernard Cazeneuve. Immediately after his arrival in Paris on Tuesday, the Grand Imam attended the second forum of Eastern and Western elders, where he addressed Europeans and all Muslims around the world, stressing the importance of a dialogue and building trust between religions and cultures. During the speech at the forum, Tayyib stressed the importance of how people of every nation should adopt ideas of coexistence, which will in the future lead to maintaining the identity of any religion rather than thinking to preserve minorities' rights. He said that call on all Muslim citizens in Europe that they must know they are citizens, are native citizens in their communities, and that full citizenship will never contradict the idea of coexistence, he said. This week's events are considered to be the forum's second meeting, following a meeting which took place in the Italian city of Florence in June 2015. Tayyib arrived in the French capital following a historic meeting with Pope Francis in the Vatican on Monday. The unprecedented meeting of the two religious leaders signaled the renewal of relations between Al-Azhar and the Vatican following 5-year suspended relations. In March, Tayyib visited Berlin, where he met with the top clerics in the German Catholic Church and addressed the Bundestag, urging religious tolerance. Today, we will be discussing the Grand Imam, several visits, and the significance of those visits. Before we proceed with that, we do have this report that we're going to start with, and we're coming back to you. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away.
Pope Francis has met the Grand Imam of Cairo's Al-Azhar Mosque at the Vatican in a historic encounter that was sealed with a hugely symbolic hug and exchange of kisses. The first Vatican meeting on Monday between the leader of the world's Catholics and the highest authority in Sunni Islam marks the culmination of a significant improvement in relations between the two faiths since Francis took office in 2013. At the start of his meeting with Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayyib, Pope Francis said in a brief comment, "Our meeting is the message." Sheikh Al-Tayyib told Francis that we need to take a joint stance, hand in hand, to bring happiness to humanity. Divine religions were revealed to make people happy, not to cause them hardship. The Vatican said in a statement after the talks that the meeting was very cordial and lasted around 30 minutes. Vatican spokesman said in a statement that the Pope and the Imam had mainly addressed the common challenges faced by the authorities and faithful of the major religions of the world. Lombardi said in a statement that the Pope and the Imam had mainly addressed the common challenges faced by the authorities and faithful of the major religions of the world. These included working together for world peace, rejecting violence and terrorism, and the situation and protection of Christians against a backdrop of conflict and terrorism in the Middle East. At the meeting, the Pope also presented the Imam with a copy of his recent letter to the faithful in which he urges the world to wake up to the threat posed by climate change and also calls for a rebalancing of the economic relationship between the industrialized and developing worlds. The Imam's deputy, Abbas Suleiman, said that the two had agreed to resume dialogue and proposed an international peace conference that would cover the issues of poverty, extremism, and terrorism. Monday's visit was effectively the long-delayed reciprocal meeting, and the Vatican said that both clerics had underlined the great significance of this new meeting. Tayyip decided to accept the invitation to Rome as a result of the numerous gestures Francis has made to the Muslim world since being elected in early 2013. Perhaps the gesture that clinched the most dramatic piece of political theater of his papacy, his April visit to the refugee crisis island of Lesbos, which concluded with him bringing 3 Syrian Muslim families back to the Vatican. In a statement on the trip, Al-Azhar, an institution that also compromises a prestigious seat of learning, said Tayyip had accepted France's invitation in order to explore efforts to spread peace and coexistence.